You have already a knowledge about HTML and CSS, you know the concepts and the base of it, but you still don't feel comfortable in work with such languages. If so, the best way to practice this is to replicate existing websites. Hello there, my name is Felipe Perin. I'm from Frontend World, and my goal here is to help you land your first job as a front-end developer. And today we will be replicating, cloning the Google homepage. Let's replicate the Google homepage in order to practice our HTML and CSS skills. And remember, I'm doing this with you on the fly, so you see exactly how is my thinking process and how we can then achieve this result. First thing I'd like to start with, it's always by resizing the page a bit and understanding how does it behave in certain screen sizes. Google itself, it doesn't change much, but I see that this sidebar here, the search bar actually, it reduces the size to always have a certain space on the sides. But after a certain point, it will keep always the same width. So that's interesting to keep in mind. And the next difference I noticed, it was on our footer, where the links on the right, you see, they change in a certain screen size, they come here to the center. And when we have really small screens, they go one below the other. That's nice. Remember that as I live in Belgium, Google is offered in different languages, as there are multiple official languages here in this country, but you may not have this small section here. However, we're going to do it nonetheless. And for that, we start here with our VS Code, of course. I'm going to create a new folder, which I'm just going to call Google. And inside here, one file called google.html and one file for google.css. Now, let's get started here with our basic HTML structure. So, head, title. What is the title of our page? Probably Google. And the body, where we're going to start inserting our content. And I'm already going to directly import the Google CSS, so Google Rel style sheet, href.google CSS. Here, this is done, and we can start from here. Next, let's add here then our meta tag. So I'm going to add the short set UTF-8 should suffice, and also the viewport because why not? Let's add here viewport and content. I'm going to say width equals device width. You don't need to remember all of that, okay? This you can just copy paste from somewhere, even from your other projects. It's more than fine. Usually this will be auto-generated for you, but I'm writing here so you keep on seeing this more and more, and this becomes easier for you. We could also just come to Google, inspect the page, and see all the meta tags they use. But of course, in a website of this scale, there'll be plenty of meta tags that are not important to us. So let's keep it simple, especially because we're just practicing. Now, let's close this again. And okay, this seems fine. Looking at the layout of the Google web page, at first, you may think this could be a grid because we have a header, we have a content, and we have a footer. So, okay, so a grid with 3 rows, right? But I don't see any columns. So that is not a grid for me. What I'm going to do is structure indeed in these 3 sections, a header, content, and footer, but they are not be part of a grid. They will all take care on their own. Let's do that then here on our body using the header tag, of course, the main tag for our content, and the footer. And each of these tags now will start receiving our content. And what I'm going to put here, just going to open them up, is the outline of what I think it should be inside them. So here for the header, for example, we see the 2 links, an icon, and then the profile icon. Okay, let's add them. And for links, you know, it's a tag, href. I'm going to leave it blank because we don't want to send the user anywhere anyway. And I'm not going to set any target blank because these links, they take you to the same page. They skip on the same tag. So I know Google, like if you click here in about, it will take Google always into the same tab and not change it. So for that reason, I'm going to leave the target cleared, just like this. So it's a pretty simple link, right? So just anchor tag, and here I have Gmail and images. So let's create them. Gmail and images. Next, we would have a link, yes. So I'm going to add here another a tag, but this link, it's a bit specific because it will have this small icon. So for now, I'm just going to add a comment here. So menu icon. And then I can even add a to do. And now I know that this is still a part to be done. And the same for our profile picture. Actually, I'm wrong. This is not a link. This is only open. So we keep this outside. This should not be a link. The same for the profile picture. I'm just going to put here to do menu icon and to do profile picture. We're going to do that later. Now here into the main content, we will have one image, which is of course the image, the logo, one input field, which will be our search, two buttons, and a small section. Let's start with the easier part, our small section. For that, we can simply create here a paragraph. I'm going to copy the text already, so Google authored in. And now each of these eight tags, because it would change the language, so it send Google to a new place, or at least it would be a button. I think the anchor tag works just fine here. I'm going to say here then, I'm going to copy this, it will be a bit easier for me. So here we have, in my case, have French, and of course German. Next, we have the two buttons, and for the buttons, I'm going to create a small section because they should be both together in the same part. So here it's a section, here's another section, another one, and this one. But as this section here contains basically one element each, I don't need to create another wrapper for them. I'm just going to use them as is. The buttons though, I will need to create a section because there are two. And here I'm going then go for button, just like this, and add here, what is it? Google search, and I'm feeling lucky. So Google search, and now I'm feeling lucky. Next, we have our input, which is a type search. And of course, I'm going to add here just a comment for now, the image, the logo image. Why do I like to create a basic structure like this? Because it makes me visualize better how the code will look like, and I have a better overview of the page that we are building. Okay, so you see it's a very simple outline, but it is kind of the content we really need. If we come back here, we'll see that the footer has then this, the country I'm using, and also 7 links in total. 4 on the left, 3 on the right. So I think that the footer is divided into sections. That's how I would work at least. This first section would have, is this a link? No, this is just a plain text. So just a paragraph written Belgian. And this second section, for me, it's divided in two small parts, right? The links on the left and the links on the right. And here we could argue that this is the navigation in using a nav semantic element, maybe the same for here, but I don't think it is. Okay, nav it's more for the overall navigation of the page. So what I'm going to use here, it's simply two articles. And inside these articles, I'm going to add, of course, 4 links on this one, and three links on the second one, left and right. What are the links? About, advertising, business, how search works. Let's copy all of that here. So about, advertising, business, and how search works. Oof, stand with me, stand with me. Now, to the right, privacy, terms, and settings. I'm going to add here then privacy, terms, and settings. Okay, that is done. What we need to do now is to check out everything we did here, right? So let's copy the path here of our file and now just come to our page and open it. As you can see, not even close to what Google looks like because there is no styling whatsoever. And of course, we're still missing a bit of content, but it's a start nonetheless. I'm coming back here because I'm satisfied with this basic structure we created already. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to commit this. So git add, git commit, basic HTML structure for Google homepage. And now I'm going to already push this because no reason why not. It's looking fine. Okay, my commit is done. It's there, it's sent to main, everything is created. What we want to do next, it's probably to start adding the spacings and putting in positioning the element correctly on the page. For that, then we have here the header, yes, we have our footer and the content. The header and the footer have a like a specific height, so a fixed height, so we can work with that. And the rest, and the content takes all the rest of the space. Okay, that's how it works. So I'm going to, of course, add here a class for header. Just call it header. And the footer, just call it footer. We're going to give some style, so header here. I'm going to say that the height could be 40 pixels, and let's check that out in the website of Google itself. And the footer kind of 80 high, 80 pixels? I have no idea. Let's check it out. If we inspect the footer, you see here, let's find what is the footer itself. This is the footer. And now in this footer, we can come here in the computed and we see that the height actually it's 94 pixels. So let's add that. I'm going to use 94 pixels. And we do the same for the header. So here we have a header. Where is it? Here. And the header has 48 pixels, but 6 pixels of padding. Let's do that. So 48, I said 48. Yes, 48 pixels, but a padding of 6 pixels. And that's a very good way of practicing understanding all these properties and also checking how the other websites have them and keep on putting on your as well. So now you see that indeed our heading is a bit more spacious and the footer as well, but we cannot see it yet because the space our footer is taking is to the bottom. Okay, now I'll keep on changing the tabs here because I don't want to make them too small by putting them on side by side. And when recording, I always need to have a certain zoom so you can see what's going on the screen. But if you have a bigger screen, you can just put everything on side by side. It's way faster to work that way. In any case, let's start putting our header and footer where they need to be. And I want to check out something. If we make this a mobile device, no matter what is the size, the footer and the header, they will always be in the same position. And this shows to me that these two sections, they are a fixed position because they will always be there on top and this one always be on the bottom. So for that, now we're going to set here in our header a position instead of relative, the default one, fixed, and for the header, a top of 0. And also, actually, we can already add here a width of 100% because it's going to take the full space anyway. The same for the footer, position fixed. In this case, bottom 0, and the width also, of course, of 100%. Let's refresh our page. And you see that now our content is behind the header, which is as expected, but the positioning of the header and the footer, they are correct. Next in line, of course, what we need to do, our content. And I forgot to put here a class for our main, so I'm going to give it a class here, content. And this content will be, oh, already have it here, a height of 100 vertical viewport, the viewport of the height, sorry, and now the width of 100% as well. We could use here viewport width as well. In this case, not make much difference, but let's keep it that way so we have both examples. And this doesn't change anything because the content it's still styled like to be on the top left. We need to bring it to the center, but we're not going to do that right now. I want to keep on working a bit before on the header and the footer. So let's start with our header. Here I'm going to inspect and already add the styles here on Chrome itself. So what I'm going to do here is a text align to the right. Oh, but it clearly did went more than it's meant to be. Let's check it out. Here the header, it's not starting where it's meant to start, and that's mostly yes, because of our body. So body should have a margin of 0. Let's reset this default style of the HTML. And here the header now, it's still not correct because position fixed with the width, it really has some trouble. So let's remove this width and add a left 0 and a right 0 as well. So then for the position width, this will work fine and show that we really want to have from the very beginning to the very end. So right, we need to be on the left 0 and also on the right 0. And this is similar to a 100% width, but it works better with the positioning. So what I'm going to do now is to copy paste these styles into our code itself, removing the width, it's not necessary anymore. And I'm just going to organize them so to be a bit better. And of course, I'm also going to replace the width I had for the footer because the same issue will occur there. So I already have here a left and right of 0. And not forgetting, of course, of our body style, margin 0. Just to override again that default style. Now I can refresh, everything is working as expected, but let's keep on going. What we also need to do here is to align them vertically. You see that if we hover a header, the Gmail and images link, they are on top of it. So we need to bring them to the center. For that, we can set a display flags. And then our text align right doesn't work anymore, of course, but we're going to use justify content to the right and align items to the center. And of course, as now they're flags items, they lost all their spacing between themselves that we had by default, but we're going to fix that. Let's copy this here to our code itself. I lost the div from the display, and this text align right, it's not needed anymore. What we will need is to have the links with a certain space. So here, these links, first we need to add them. Where are they? Where are they? Here they are. Class link. I'm just going to add this as well here. And this link class, so all the links inside the header, should have a certain style. In this case, I'm saying a margin of 0 for top bottom, and let's say 4 pixels from left to right. If we refresh now, okay, they have a certain spacing. Comparing to here, to the Google page itself, we can see that they use actually a div with the link inside, which is also another way of doing it. And they use a padding actually of 15 pixels. The same here. So 15 pixels. If we're putting on both sides, this we have 8. So we should have something around 8 pixels for both sides. Now a total of 16, quite similar. I don't know why Google chose precisely 15. 16 seems just fine. Still on the links, we need to take this underscore, of course, and their font, the font color here. They're not right. For that, let's, instead of aligning the styles of this for only the header links, I want to add it for all the links we'll find. So what I'm going to do here is to add, maybe here at the bottom, new link class, or maybe even at the top. In this link class, we'll have styles for all the links of our pages because we need the text decoration of none for all the links. If we check the Google web page, all of those, they are the same links, but they have no underline by default. These ones are the same, but these ones, the color are different. So we need to work on that. What we're going to do then is to use this link class in all of our A tags. Philip, could I just put in this style for all the A tags that we have in the system? In this specific scenario, yes, but I would not recommend it to do so. Okay, because then we have a bit less control and you may start going into that cases that you are overriding and overriding and overriding. So for me, it's preferable to have this repeated like this, especially because when you start learning a bit more about JavaScript and you learn like how to use some frameworks like React, Vue, or anything, you can transform this into components and this repeated code just disappears. Let's refresh our page. And yes, now all this underscore is gone. It does, however, appear the underscore on the hover. So now we need to set here the text decoration for underline whenever the link is being hovered. So if we refresh now, yeah, now it works just fine. The font though, the font color though is still wrong. We're going to check on that right now. And for that, what I want to do is I'm going to inspect Google page itself, and I'm going to see which color actually they use. So see that here they use color. They use interestingly the color 000, which is completely black, but with a 0.87 transparency. So RGB alpha. So this is the transparency. Let's use this as well for the color of our links. Here, if we set the links, we set this color. And again, so the four values of red, here green and blue, and this one, the alpha. You can say dot 0.87 or 0.87. Okay, doesn't matter. Just remember that this goes from 0 to 1, but from 1 being 100% completely opaque and 0 being completely transparent. Let's refresh our page now and see how do they look. Okay, they look way, way better than before. However, these ones are wrong, and what we're going to do for this is to add a specific styling for the links inside this section. And as we're working the links, I'm going to do that right now. And for that, what we're going to do is the content and links. In order to make sure that I'm not going to make this in all the links inside the content, even though here in this case, it's only those three, I'm going to add also a class here to this paragraph. And this one will be language container. Now I'm going to add here the language container. So just for the links inside the language container. Technically, this should be unnecessary, but as it still follows my golden rule of 3 selectors maximum, I will let it, I'll allow it. And what we want to do here then, it's a color, but a different one. Which one? the one Google uses, of course. Let's get it here, inspect, and have the color. It's this one. Let me put this here. Oh, okay. Oh, voilà. We have it. Now, okay, they are in the correct color. It's getting better and better.